Okay, we'll start tonight's meeting with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Roll call.
Mr. Bender?
Here.
Mrs. Hoover? Here. Dr. Crew?
Here.
Mrs. Crew? Here. Mrs. Lee? Here. Mr. Rocco?
Here.
Mr. Basil?
Here.
Mr. Westrick?
Here.
Ms. Zinchuk? Here.
Okay, folks, we have to go into executive session. I don't know how long it's gonna take, so be resolved, the Board of Education enters into executive session at 6:01 PM. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Tommy Bender, questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Diane, you signed up to talk. 5 minutes, Diane, okay?
I want this shot.
Long,
No.
I can't remember what I was gonna say. Okay.
I'm sure.
As I looked over the agenda, my name is Diane Rex-Munsky. I'm from Susquehanna Township, 622 Municipal Road. And I want to talk about buildings and grounds and personnel. I think that's it. When I looked at the agenda, it reminded me of the July 15th meeting that looked like a wish list for everything under the sun. And it added up to about $200,000 in July. And I made a joke, gee, if everybody knew that they could put things on the agenda, they would. But anyway, I looked down this in building and ground, soundproofing panels, 69,800, 53,499, that comes to over $120,000 that is on the agenda. I come to all meetings, I've never heard about this before, and it's on the agenda, and it's in red, which means it's gonna be on the regular meeting. And I wonder why it's here now, and why it hasn't been here before, and things haven't appeared before. Then it gets to the wet roof system, and under the same category, and it talks about, you know, discussion about damaged area of the floor. And I've been here and I've listened to all of the things about the floor and the remedies for the floor and all of that. And never did I ever hear about the wet roof system. That was totally new terminology. Now, I do wonder personally about mold and, you know, the floor being repaired and all of the things that went on, but this is all new terminology. And it's in black, which means it could be voted on tonight. Moving along quickly, I wondered about, I didn't put this down, community relations, about naming the gym. I remember the discussion at one of the meetings about submitting names for naming parts of the building. I never saw a mechanism to do that, and I wished I would. Under curriculum, I didn't put that down either. I wondered why that was not a special meeting or a committee meeting, if that is going to require action or a plan, why it would be on here and it's in red, which means it's gonna go to the agenda. So, I mean, that's the Title I plan. That sounds very in-depth. Title I is a very big thing, and this is on here like it's gonna happen tonight and then 2 weeks from now. Then I get to personnel, and my first item of that was going to be, why is this here, and then the executive session is at the end, and you fix that, because you had the executive session already, because that made no sense having it here when you were going to talk money. This person has 1.5 years left on his contract, and you're looking at adding 3 more. Why is this here when it doesn't need to be here? And, you know, looking at yesterday and looking at December 2nd, I feel this is inappropriate. and is not a timely thing to look at now. And that's my spiel. Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, superintendent report.
Thank you, Dr. Dugan. I just have a couple of things real briefly here. Some of you may or may not know, Cambria County is sponsoring a special celebration this year called America 250 for Cambria County. It's a celebration of the and I'm always gonna get this wrong, the semi-quincentennial of the United States in 2026. And Northern Cambria was invited to be part of that. So we will be hosting there's a special torch being made for Cambria County. We'll be hosting that April 27th through May 5th, or May 1st, excuse me. And even though it's in the very early stages, we have some teachers planning on some very special kind of programs and observances in honor of America's 250th birthday. And I just want to kind of get that out there so people are aware of that we'll be doing that. I'm happy to report we finally made some progress on removing the hazardous chemicals at the old high school. We were having a lot of difficulty finding somebody that would take that. We finally did. I finally did find a company called Republic Environmental Services that they came yesterday, and they viewed the entire chem storage area with Ms. Prebish and Jeff Smith and Dr. Konigsberg, and they're going to give us a reasonable quote on getting rid of that, which is very important because that stuff needs to be disposed of and has to be done properly. And just finally, a reminder that parent conferences are tonight and tomorrow. If anybody out there needs to have a parent conference set up for the elementary or the high school, they can contact the schools during the day, and those conferences, as I said, are going on tonight and also tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you, Dr. Crew.
Thank you. Mr. Ashurst, do you have anything you need to say?
I got a couple things.
Go ahead.
So, first of all, we're on day 127 without a state budget. I think it's a shame that the Commonwealth can't come to an agreement at this point, and they're only taking money away from education and from kids. So as of now, we're only having necessary spending, and we should be okay for all of November, but come December, we're going to need to dip into the tran funds, whether that's to pay necessary bills and payroll, but it's gonna come to that point eventually, coming soon. I've been working with Mrs. Stuck to complete the AFR. Our goal is to have that submitted by the end of November. Our due date is November 30th. And I've been working with Mr. Smith and Mr. Johnson to complete the concrete pouring and installation of the dust collector that we need to get done. Auditors will be on site on Wednesday, and once they're here, AFR should be complete within 2 weeks. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
Can I ask Brandon a question?
Sure.
Do you know if, Mr. Lockard was given the design, the engineering designs for the
He should have been, but I'll double check in my email.
because I know that he was concerned about getting those before he could do a good quote.
Yeah, because we wanted to get 3 quotes just to make sure that we were doing everything by the book, and then we were gonna present it to the board in the
Right.
following meeting.
Thanks.
Good. Danielle, good.
Oh, yes, thanks.
All right, item A, soundproofing panels. I know nothing about this, so whoever does can talk.
I can speak to a little bit. This was one of those issues that was brought up right as SiteLogic and the rest of the Fiore were finishing up their contracts. Ms. Prebish contacted me and had a concern that some of the rooms and the gymnasium had very, very bad echoing, and she wanted to see if SiteLogic could arrange to do something about it. They evaluated it, said that was not in the contract, which is what I expected. We're at the point now where anything we're gonna find from here on out is probably gonna be outside whatever was contracted, so it'll be our responsibility unless we can show that was demonstrably an issue with the workmanship or something from one of the subcontractors. But in fairness, Mr. Whitmer did take a look at that. He recommended some soundproofing panels. We looked into the price of them. You can see that for the 7 classrooms, they're quoting a cost of $53,000. The gym is $69,000. To be honest with you, I don't recommend soundproofing the gym. I think the gyms are loud. I mean, gyms are just always loud. I don't think that gym, and I've been down there, is in any particular sense louder than any other gym. I think a good argument could be made for soundproofing the rooms, but I don't consider it to be an emergency. I think it could be done. If it turns out that we have contingency money, it would probably be a good idea because it's art rooms and science rooms, and they are pretty noisy with the space above them, the plenum space is empty, and it does echo a lot. So, how the board would proceed, and again, I wouldn't personally recommend doing the gymnasium, because again, I don't think it needs it. The classrooms, I think, would be, if turns out that there is, contingency funds left that we could afford to do it with, so that's my report on that, and that's what I know.
Thank you, sir. Everybody good? Questions?
I have a
Go
question.
ahead.
I've been in those classrooms, and it definitely,
Yeah.
there is an echo in there.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
it's disruptive, just to even walk in there,
Yeah.
let alone have class in there.
Yeah, yes. So I do think with the classrooms, if we could see to them as we have money, we should do that, but again, do we have that much money in contingency? I don't think we know right now.
Well, I question, why wasn't there anything installed originally?
I don't
They
know.
were value engineered out to get the costs down,
Yeah, that sounds right.
Who did that?
Yeah, we did that.
not me. You
Any
know me.
decent architect would have had those in there.
Well, the
Anybody
decent
would've.
architect would have had a lot of suggestions that the board didn't take because we were trying to get the cost down to suit a few
Did the
members.
board reduce the panels?
I don't,
Never.
oh, I don't know that I'd say
All right,
never,
all right.
but, what I wanted to mention was there are acoustic panels in the old gymnasium that could be used in the new gymnasium if we really wanna do that. They probably need to be cleaned, but they could, if they're carefully removed, we could reuse them. There could also be acoustic panels in the old auditorium that, you know, if we determined that we wanna remove them from there, they, you know, we could see if they would be suitable for classrooms.
How much money's
Good.
in the
I
contingency?
have no idea.
Do you have any idea what's left in the contingency fund?
I can get you that information tomorrow and email it out.
Okay, just because if there's anything left in the end, couldn't that have been moved into education, like books
I
and
don't
things?
think so.
No,
It cannot be,
No,
ever?
it's only for construction.
Okay, just wondering.
So use it.
Okay, we good? Okay, next one is the old generator. We have an old generator that, well, we got a new generator, okay, so that makes the old one unnecessary. And we need to decide what we're gonna do with it, cause I think it's pretty big. It's not a little champion, It's big, okay? So, and it probably has a little bit of value left to it, I think Danielle was saying 15 grand or something like that, but I imagine we'd have to have that appraised or something like that to know that, but, either we can sell it, bid, but I guess it would be sealed bids or something like that.
Yeah, we're auctioning
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or we can donate it, I think we have the privilege to donate stuff like that if we want to as a board. So we just have to decide what we're gonna do, and, people just can't claim it. So we have to,
Yeah.
the board has to decide what to do with it, not each individual or employee or citizen, they just can't come grab it.
At one time, didn't we discuss having an auction for a lot of that
Yeah.
material up there?
I don't know what, I
Yeah,
haven't.
we're still gonna, that's actually ties into the first thing, we still have some of those hazardous materials we wanna get out so we can open those rooms up, and
Yeah.
we have been really fighting hard to find someone to do that, cause nobody does that kinda work. So got it, I think Jeff, and whether or not I'm still here at the time, I think we need to get that set up as soon as possible.
For
The other thing we need some input from the board is, do we wanna do an auction with an auctioneer, or just do make an offer kind of thing on it, and, if you guys could give us some guidance on that, but, yeah, we do need to do that.
But don't we need a listing of actually what's up there that we're getting rid of?
Everything would need to be itemized.
You would have.
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, so, and I don't know who's gonna do that.
Well, isn't, part of that's gonna be part of our assets, right? Well, it's part of our
Well,
assets.
I mean, all I can tell you is I did it before, and I did it before at Johnstown High School. We just, literally just, the auctioneer just walked from room to room and said, is anybody interested in this? And we logged it, but we logged it as we went. We cataloged it as we sold it, and then when we were done
Because a lot
selling
of
it,
stuff no one's gonna bid on.
no one's gonna
Right.
bid on it. We didn't wanna go to a race at the time of inventorying something that nobody was gonna, like, nobody's gonna take old student desks that are from the 60s. You're gonna end up, paying to haul them away, but we'll do whatever the board would like to see us do.
the only reason I put it on is because it has to be a board decision, it can't just be an individual decision, okay? So, am I right? Yeah. well,
Yes.
okay.
Is there a process we'd have to go through though to get it appraised, to find out what we're giving away, or?
If you want to, you don't have to. If you wanted to sell it, you could put it on a website like Municipid or.
How old is it?
Come and
Anybody
bid on
know?
it.
How old?
It's up to you guys.
No,
I'm
I didn't, I
donating
just
it.
meant to know what it was.
The electricians that were
there's no-
here told me that there would be somebody to buy it, and it's probably worth $15,000 to $20,000, but,
I don't know about that.
oh, I don't know why they tell me that.
Because they're, that's why.
Hey, that's one of those 6 words you can't say over the air.
All right.
Well, I don't think it's worth 15,
Okay,
but I'm for donating it to the fire company.
which fire company?
Oh, that's right.
What was that?
There are 3 in the district.
Yeah,
I
and,
thought there were only 2.
No, there's
two.
There's Sprinklers with Oak.
Alright, I'm for selling it.
right, because there are 3 companies that cover this area,
You're right,
and,
'cause that'll start a freaking war.
well, and when, yeah,
A
Yeah.
bidding war, that could be interesting.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
I
I was in
anyway,
hope, so that's what I was thinking.
it should not be be forgot about, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, the wet roof system, since Access or Site Logic isn't here to explain, I don't, unless you know about it there, Alan, I have no idea what that is.
I mean, honestly, the entire roof
I
and
guess
and
it's when
gym
it rains,
system
you get wet.
has just become almost unmanageable. I'm not blaming anybody but myself, it's just, I don't understand what's going on. I think we need to convene some kind of a conference involving the administration and the board and the management of SiteLogic and just have all of our questions put out and answered. Cause I know the wet roof system was mentioned a number of times, in the minutes, as I looked through the construction minutes, Fiore has made mention to the wet roof system. I heard that discussed by somebody from SiteLogic. Honestly, I don't know. I think what it is that some roofs are designed to be kept wet. It contributes to the seal if there's a certain kind of top, coating on the top of it, but I'm certainly not qualified to comment on that beyond that. So my only plan at this point was to send an email or even a letter if necessary to SiteLogic and say, could we please convene a meeting with members of the board and representatives of the administration so we could once and for all try to get these questions answered, because it's just, there's so many different people involved in it, and I don't know what's true and what's not anymore.
Yeah, I'd like to know what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never heard of it.
there's no
I've heard
such thing
Jeff,
as a red roof.
I've talked to Jeff about it frequently. I've heard Jeff excoriated by some people from SiteLogic, but then I've heard Jeff say things that, I know that, and I'm not blaming Mr. Paranish, and he's not here to defend himself, but I am aware that right before the end of June, he told Jeff to shut everything off because there were some parts not working and it was costing a lot of money. We weren't getting adequate cooling, and he told Jeff to reduce it down to either a minimum number of hours during the summer or shut it off altogether, which Jeff did, and then that turned out to be wrong. And then we were asked to turn it back on, and I remember contacting Jeff and saying, can you please turn it back on? And then he emailed me back and said that he did turn it back on. And Jeff's never been untruthful with me that I'm aware of. So, they just, I don't wanna get into this issue with Mr. Smith. It's just that whole system, the whole question has just become very confusing. I don't know how we're gonna resolve it other than to just do a big, round table or something and have everybody there get agreed upon answers.
Okay, thanks. All right, business finance, nothing at this time. Community relations, Nate, Mrs. Krug, you wanted me to put on for naming the new gym.
Yeah, because we talked about it like a year ago and then 6 months ago again, and it opened it up to email suggestions and whatnot. Mr. Paul Artley's name is repetitively put on by the community, by staff members, so I'd like his name put on as a vote.
TSA Title I plan, guess that's probably you, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, and I wanna speak to that, and also if I may just go back to the gym for a second, cause I mentioned Ms. Westminster, excuse me, I apologize, I butchered the name, ma'am. We did have that area tested for mold immediately when we knew there was a problem. There was absolutely no mold in the gym. That was tested by a laboratory in Altoona, and I can give you the report, but the gym area is mold free and has been. The TSI Title I plan, that is not our full Title I plan. TSI stands for Targeted School Intervention. We were found to be in need of improvement specifically for the subgroup of students in special education in the elementary school. That specific group of students did not show satisfactory improvement, although the rest of your students did. Your low socioeconomic students, your regular ed students, and others here in Northern Cambria have actually performed quite well, but the special ed students did not perform at the same level. When that happens, and if you are receiving Title I funds, you are identified as a school being subject to what's called targeted school intervention, and that's us. So you have to do what's called a TSI Title I plan, but it is not your full Title I plan. The full Title I plan is your Title I grant. We do a consolidated grant application for Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title VI. That's a very, very large grant report. That is public information, but we're waiting for it to be approved by the state. The state government, the state has to approve that. What we did in the TSI Title I plan is we put together, or actually Dr. Tibbet put together, a very focused plan just on what are we going to do to try to improve the academic performance of students who have special ed identifications in the elementary school. And that's attached to your minutes there. It's not a comprehensive report on all of Title I activities. There's a lot of stuff goes on in Title I. It's just on what things are we going to do differently for the students with the exceptionalities to help them achieve at higher levels, and that's what's outlined in the report. We have to submit that report in order to be able to submit our combined grant, consolidated grant application. But before I can submit the report in e-grants, we have to have affirmation that the board had an opportunity to see the plan and review it, and get an affirmation that the board has done that. Now, if you hopefully vote on that tonight, that you are affirming that, then I'm able to submit that tomorrow, and then we can in turn submit the consolidated Title I application, which is several $1 million. It's one of our biggest sources of individual funding. So hopefully that explains everything adequately. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer it. The plan's attached to your minutes, and you can look at it. If you have a question now, I can answer it. If you want to email me questions, I'm happy to take it for you. There are a lot of acronyms in there, and it gets very confusing.
Okay, item A, legislation policy development.
Hold on, curriculum and instruction, please.
Oh,
I have something
that's
to-
what we were just talking about.
Yes, I have
Oh,
something
okay,
to
go
add.
ahead. All right.
Before it gets too late, because last year, we tried to purchase books at the last minute. Dr. Tibbet was scurried to get books that should have been budgeted for her, and I know, Mr. Ashers, that we are in a very tight budget because we don't have a budget. But we have to get on cycle, and in the past, just a reminder, and especially because, you're just coming on board here too, we had so many classes, there was a cycle created for books. And we need to try to create a budget, well, I don't know from where right now, but those, exactly, but we need to make sure that those kids aren't missed. Because last year, all of a sudden, we didn't have our books, we didn't have money for the books that we needed. So I don't know whose turn it is, if there's any kind of paperwork or a cyclical chart of who's next in line, or if you want to begin something like that, maybe have the principals put together where needs are. But that needs to be put in place so that we don't miss it on the budget, because that is the most important, I would say, more than the panels and anything else we're looking at. So just, that's all I've got to say, get the books back on cycle somehow when we get money.
I for what it's worth, I agree completely. You had a curriculum review cycle, you fell off of it. It was one of the things I discovered early on, and I've been trying to myself get where are we supposed to be. That seems to be a matter of debate between the high school and elementary, but we do need, I think what we need to do is we put together a preliminary budget in January, which is typically when that happens. Brandon, I probably won't be here, but if I am, I certainly want to be part of that, having Brandon, the principals, and whoever's in my office getting together to look at that, because that'll be a major item that needs to be included in the budget. easy to take it out because you can still run a school without them, but not smart to take it out.
Right, yeah, and that becomes the heart and soul of this
Yeah.
place. All right, that's all.
Good, okay. Item A under legislation and policy development, what they're trying to do is create a student council advisor for these. That would take an MOU, that's what I just talked to Toby about, so he's gonna look into that with their attorney, and then we'll have to do after that, okay? So, we're gonna skip personnel tonight, and we're gonna go into, be resolved, the Board of Education discuss and approve the sabbatical leave extension request for employee number 2645 for the remainder of the 25-26 school year.
We did receive a medical excuse on that person, and they,
Motion.
I don't know who it is,
I don't
Same.
either.
I know a number,
Yeah, no, it was in your agenda.
It is.
okay?
I didn't see it.
Did you say motion, Tom?
It's right here,
Yeah, motion.
Oh, it's an attachment.
Yeah, it's
That's
attachment
what I
number
thought.
4.
okay?
Tom Bender seconds it.
Who made the
Questions or
motion?
comments?
Is this in line with whether it's paid or not paid? That's all I'm asking.
It's medical.
I think it's restoration of health, and I think it's paid half.
Yeah. Well, then you're right.
Okay,
I'll have to confirm that.
okay, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
7-0. Jen has nothing. Mr. Basil has a fundraiser, you can read that in front of you. I'll make the motion for that.
Second.
Mr. Tom Rocco seconds it. Any questions or comments on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Nothing in transportation, we've been doing really good on that one. Assistant coaches, I asked Mr. Pajek to put all these coaching things on here, just so we would not be behind, because I know the spring sports, when we get down to it, are already doing their open gyms, and we cannot have them without a regular coach, so. You can read for the assistant basketball coaches there, I believe they were there last year, I'm not sure, but I know Mr. Patterson was.
Mine says first year.
Yeah, the first one
Yeah,
says
I
first year.
understand that. Okay, so I'll make the motion for that.
Second.
Mr. Tom Rocco. Mr. Bender, I'll get you next time. I saw you on my peripheral vision there. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, head baseball coach, like I said, I asked Mr. Pajek to put this on so the kids wouldn't go without a coach for open gyms. So I'll make the motion for that. This is the returning head coach, by the way. Mr. Bender. Second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
All right, we already did executive session, so the November 5th, 2025 committee of the whole meeting, be it resolved, will be adjourned at 7:25 PM. I'll make the motion. Mr. Tom Bender seconds it. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?